Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey, what a great day. My name is Michelle Pouchot. I'm the director of the Baltimore City Department of Transportation, and I'm so excited to be here on the 21st celebration of Bike to Work Day. So, hey, I see folks are over there having a lot of fun, and it's a fun day. And I'm really glad we got better weather today, because the first day wouldn't have been so good. But I want to first recognize a couple of my partners here in the government. We've got Tanya Miller with us, and she's going to give some words on behalf of Mayor Pugh, as well as Kendra Pollock. Where did Kendra go?
Right here.
All right, there. Kendra from the mayor's office. And I want to thank the mayor from the start in supporting us with the bike program. We're really moving forward with our bike program. We've installed over 100 miles. We're improving some of those miles. We're adding. We're going to install about 17, 18 miles this summer. We're getting back on track with implementing the bike plan, and we're also in the 2019 budget, we're buying equipment to better maintain the bike network. So we're so excited, baby steps, and we're going to be running really, really soon. But we have other partners with us today, and they're going to give you some remarks, but at this moment I want to introduce them. We got Mike Kelly from the Baltimore Metropolitan Council. Hey Mike, thanks for coming out. We've got Kevin Quinn from MTA, Maryland Department of Transportation, Mass Transit Administration. We've also got from MDOT, Jason Ridgeway from the State Highway Administration, and they do so much for us with grants to improve our financing around building more and better bike facilities. We've got Christine DeLees, who's going to share some safety tips, and you see she's from AAA. Thanks for being here. And we've got John Lauria, and John is the chair of the Mayor's Bicycle Advisory Committee. He's on the Downtown Partnership Board, and John's going to share some remarks with us today. And so without further ado, I want to turn it over to Tanya. Thanks, Tanya.
Hi, good morning. Again, I sort of echo what Michelle said. Today is a great day. And my name is Tanya Miller. I am proud to represent Mayor Pugh today as an avid cyclist and an owner of a race team. This is right up my alley. Unfortunately, Mayor Pugh could not be here today, but she wants you to know that she is fully committed and working to expand the bicycle network in Baltimore City. And I also want to thank Michelle and her team for their wonderful dedication to the biking program and putting this great event together today. Also thanking our project partners, Michael Kelly, Kevin Quinn, Jason Ridgeway, Christine DeLees, Kirby Fowler, and John Lira. It's also just exciting to be here for the 21st annual Bike to Work Day. I rode my bike to work today from Mount Washington, and I have to tell you that all over the United States and Canada, people are promoting commuting to work. So I am just pleased to be here and promote bike safety and biking to work. We have a few updates. The mayor has expanded her bicycle master plan, which will connect communities throughout the city with a comprehensive network of bike lanes and trails. We have built over 125 miles of biking facilities in the city, and this number continues to grow. In addition to constructing bike lanes, nearly 600 bike racks have been installed throughout the city so that people have convenient bike parking. And I'm sure there are many of you have heard about our bike sharing program, which has expanded with over 39 bike stations throughout the city. And finally, the bike share program has we have expanded the program and have reached over 80,000 miles of biking miles with the bike share program. And I just want to say this is a great day, and to remember bike safety when you're as a motorist, to remember bike safety and look out for bicyclists. So that's it. Michael Kelly.
Thank you so much. I just want to recognize a few other people before I turn it over to Mike Kelly. We got Councilman Yitzi with us, and we've got Bike More, Liz Kelly, and I see so many members of the Mayor's Bicycle Advisory Committee. Can you all wave your hands? Yeah, okay. Herbie, thanks for being here. Mike? Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Mike Kelly. I'm the Executive Director of the Baltimore Metropolitan Council. I'd like to thank Mayor Pugh, our 2018 Vice Chair, and the Baltimore City DOT for sharing this opportunity to reaffirm our region's commitment to bike commuting. BMC serves as the Council of Governments for the Metropolitan area here around Baltimore, and we are happy to be the coordinating agency for this year's 21st Annual Bike to Work Day celebration in partnership with all of our local partners. This project brings together hundreds and hundreds of bikers around the region every single year. There's rallies like this in every one of our jurisdictions, and it's a great day to remind everybody the benefits of biking to work, not just today, but every day. Baltimore City's commitment to safe, accessible, and affordable facilities is building on the spirit of Bike to Work Day, encouraging residents to bike to their commutes, to their schools, to their shopping, in ways that make the city a safer and healthier place. Bike to Work Day is a time to celebrate biking throughout the region. We're grateful to have the support of private businesses and nonprofit organizations who've helped to orchestrate these unique events all over the region. We especially want to thank our platinum sponsors, the Baltimore City DOT, Clean Air Partners, the Central Maryland Regional Transportation Agency, the Baltimore Bicycle Club, and Metro Rideshare. We really couldn't do this without those partners. Finally, we want to recognize the conscientious drivers that slow down and share the road with our bikers. They help ensure that everybody gets home safely at the end of the day. And again, on behalf of the Baltimore Metropolitan Council, I want to say thank you to the mayor for allowing us to be a part of this event, and it's my pleasure to introduce Kevin Quinn, the administrator of the Maryland Transit Administration.
Appreciate it. As the sun comes out. Good morning. My name's Kevin Quinn. I'm the administrator of MDOT MTA, and we're so happy to be a sponsor of Bike to Work Day. We just cycled down here from the pit stop that we had up at Penn Station this morning. We stopped by State Highways pit stop as well, so a lot of fun there. Building connections between bicycling and transit is really a key objective that we have at MDOT MTA, and we're constantly looking for very new, innovative ways to bring those together. For example, we now have bike cars on all of our weekend MARC trains, and we're running them on 5 southbound and 5 northbound MARC trains on the Penn line today for Bike to Work Day. We're also in the process of adding bike cars to some of our bi-level MARC passenger cars and working to expand so that we have the capacity to carry full-size bikes on regular weekday trains in 2019. Here in Baltimore City, we partnered with the Baltimore City Department of Transportation to add over 5 miles of shared bus-bike lanes that provide new options to get through downtown, and looking to plan additional lanes as part of the North Avenue Rising project. We've also worked with the city to add bike share kiosks at 8 locations near rail stations and working to add 9 more in the city. And these locations are on all of our transit maps and bus schedules so that they know that that is a good transportation option. Bike share facilities are great for non-bike owners and tourists who want to see the city, but we know that folks also own their own bike and we want them to use it to get to work or other locations. So through an MDOT Bikeways grant, we purchased 68 bike racks to be installed at light rail and metro stations in and around the city in an effort to have a bike rack at every rail station in the very near future. Another item we're very proud of right back there is our Bike and Ride display, which shows bike riders how to secure their bicycles on the front of MTA buses. They can be found in bike shops and other locations. I hope you'll try it out. I know Michelle was trying it out earlier with her bike. And so that's a great way to combine biking and transit, but also a great way if you get a flat tire, something like that, and you can't make that ride. Finally, we just updated our bicycles on MDOT MTA brochure to let people know how to combine bicycling and transit, and I hope you'll take a copy and pass that along to friends. I'd like to now introduce Jason Ridgeway, who's a Deputy Administrator at MDOT SHA. Jason's been with SHA for almost 20 years, oversees planning, engineering, real estate for SHA. And given the number of roads managed by State Highway Administration, it's key to have staff at SHA that really understand the importance of bicycling. And I know that Jason and SHA Administrator Greg Slater are working to improve those conditions. So thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you and your bikes on MTA in the near future. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Kevin. Glad to be here today at Bike to Work Day. Rode in from Federal Hill via the Visitor Center. We had a nice ride up. It was a nice ride up, and really enjoyed that. Like Kevin said, I'm Jason Ridgeway, Deputy Administrator of the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration, but I'm also a dad and a cyclist. As part of MDOT's bicycle education campaign, a bicyclist may be someone you know. We are featuring actual Maryland bicyclists, their careers and their roles in family life. In our education materials, you'll meet a nurse who's a father and a project manager who's also an aunt. Why? By personalizing the message, we are reminding Maryland drivers that bicyclists are real commuters and their safety is important, and we're sharing this message at our Bike to Work Day pit stop just down the street. Another grassroots outreach effort. Our campaign addresses both cyclists and motorists and stresses the importance of following the rules of the road. For bicyclists, it means following traffic laws and riding predictably. For drivers, it means paying attention and giving 3 feet of space when passing. We know that drivers tend to look for other vehicles, but they may not be expecting the slim profile of a bike. From an engineering perspective, we are installing bike lanes and wide shoulders around the state, building the expectancy that drivers should fully anticipate sharing the lane with a bicyclist. As the weather warms, like today when the sun's coming out, more people will be biking, and during the spring and summer we see an increase in crashes. More than 80% of all bicycle crashes result in an injury. Over the last 5 years, 33 people were killed and more than 3,100 injured. Bicycle safety is a two-way street. We all have a role in preventing crashes. As people return home today from this great event, Bike to Work Day, and every day, we need to look out for each other. So with that, let's look out for each other and have a safe day. With that, I'd like to introduce Christine DeLise from AAA MidAtlantic.
I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Christine DeLise, Senior Public Affairs Specialist with AAA MidAtlantic. AAA is proud for the opportunity to collaborate once again with our city and state partners, as well as the Baltimore Metropolitan Council, to promote bicycle safety across our region. My AAA colleague, Nicholas Starr, and I were thrilled to see so many cyclists throughout the morning here at City Hall, and stopping by our table for biking-related giveaways, safety information, and info on AAA roadside assistance for bicyclists. While most of you know AAA as the organization to call when your car breaks down, but what you may not know is that as part of our commitment to traffic and bicycle safety, in 2015, in conjunction with Bike to Work Day, we at AAA MidAtlantic expanded our roadside assistance to cover cyclists at no extra charge. This service provides the same safety and peace of mind to bicyclists that we have provided to motorists for decades. Over the years, when we sponsored or attended biking events across our territory, cyclists, many of whom were motorists and AAA members, consistently asked us when AAA would start offering roadside service to cyclists. Given the increased popularity of cyclists from both members and non-members alike, we saw this expansion as a natural fit to address a growing population as more people are riding for fun, fitness, and a way to get to and from work. Last year, AAA MidAtlantic came to the aid of 134 cyclists throughout our region, with 50 of those calls for service in Maryland. Since 2015, the inception of AAA MidAtlantic's bicycle roadside service, the Auto Club has aided 341 cyclists, with nearly 100 of them in Maryland. We need to keep in mind our streets are filled not only with cars, but cyclists and other road users. So we all must share the road safely, particularly as our bicycle community grows. For over 110 years, AAA has been an advocate for motorists and the safety of all roadway users. That includes a long history of pedestrian and bicycle safety efforts to improve both the dialogue and attitudes necessary to share roads safely. Our foundation takes these safety messages into our communities and schools through various bicycle and pedestrian programs, as well as our school safety patrol program. Not only does the growth in cycling lead to more chances of a breakdown, we recognize that the growth in this mode also challenges both cyclists and motorists to do a better job of sharing the roads safely and to better understand each other's challenges in staying safe. As AAA has long been a part of that conversation, we will continue to seek ways to improve both the dialogue and attitudes necessary to keep us all safe, no matter what mode of travel. Thank you, and remember, cyclists and motorists, safety is a two-way street. I now introduce to you John Laria.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Who rode a bike here today? Who's going to ride a bike here tomorrow, next year? All right. Bike to every day. I'm John Laria. I'm the chair of the Mayor's Bicycle Advisory Commission, and it's a pleasure to be here today to help celebrate Bike to Work Day. I want to thank the members of the commission who are here, that raised their hands before, and so many other stakeholders who are making Baltimore a better place to bike, from the state, the city, the private sector. Our friends from Baltimore, Liz Cornish, great advocacy group, the director, Michelle Prichot, who has really taken the lead in pushing the city's bike agenda forward. I see Kirby Fowler from the Downtown Partnership. Kirby, thank you for everything that you do. And especially thanks to Mayor Pugh for working hard to make cycling a priority in Baltimore. The Bicycle Advisory Commission was created by the mayor to advocate for implementation of the city's bike master plan and its recently adopted separated lane plan. I think it's proven, irrefutable, that separated bike lanes are the safest and best way to get people around on bicycles. And the city now has a plan in place to do that needs to be funded and implemented, and we're starting to do that as we speak. The bicycling is a lot of things. It's economic development, because our employees, the people we want to recruit in the private sector, the public sector, are expecting us to have a city that is bikeable and walkable, and if we don't provide it, some of them are not going to come. We have they need roads, they need trails, they need bike racks, and we need to provide them if the city is going to continue to flourish economically. Bicycling is about tourism. People come from other places, they want a chance to look around Baltimore. We now have a viable bike share program. We have opportunities and facilities for people to spend time riding around Baltimore and seeing it from that perspective. Bicycling is about recreation and fitness. People need to get out, enjoy our trails, enjoy the outside as the weather begins to improve, and it's an opportunity to get fit with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, bicycling is about equity. The city has to do a better job of providing transportation alternatives for people in the city. And bicycling is an inexpensive and effective way to get people from place to place around the city, to jobs, to opportunities. And while we continue to work on expanding the transportation network, bicycling becomes a very important component of that. And if the city is to have an equitable transportation network, it needs to include a viable and effective bike system. So we're way ahead of where we were. The mayor deserves a lot of credit for that. The director deserves a lot of credit for that. And there's great stuff happening. And you'll see it over the next couple of months. Look for the Big Jump project, which is going to create a bike and pedestrian link across the otherwise unpassable Jones Falls Valley from north central Baltimore to Reservoir Hill, and get people going back and forth across that chasm. Look for the downtown bike network to accelerate its installation. You've seen, of course, the Maryland Avenue cycle track. We're now going to be adding east-west connectors to get people from here out to the Johns Hopkins institutions. Rails to Trails, a national organization, has chosen Baltimore as one of 8 cities for a Trail Nation project to create a 35-mile trail loop, protected loop for bikes and peds around the city. Will be a national model when we complete that with the cooperation of Baltimore City, BGE, and Norfolk Southern, who own the remaining parts to make that trail work. But we are not where we need to be yet. We're behind the peer cities that we want to judge ourselves against, and there's a lot more work to do. There's evidence in this year's, as the director said, in this year's budgets. There's evidence in the priorities that the city is beginning to set that we're making a serious commitment to increasing bicycle infrastructure and bicycling opportunities in Baltimore. We need to push forward. We need to do that together, and we need to do it as quickly as possible. So thanks for coming out to Bike to Work Day. It's just one very important part of an overall approach to improving bicycling in Baltimore. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Before we move on, I really want to recognize the Department of Transportation team from Baltimore City, starting with Tammy Walters. Tammy, thank you so much. Mike Warfield, and I'd like all the other DOT participants to raise your hands. Hey, DOT in the house. So thank you all for coming out, and thanks to the team. I'd now like to open it up for questions, if anyone has any questions. All right, no questions. All right, thank you all for coming out.
Thank you.
Ride safely home from work. Take care.
Bike to Work Day!